Hi, this is Vaibhav Arolkar. I'm the Director for Ecosystem Partnerships for Americas and Europe for the Telecom vertical. Uh, and we have Cedric from Google today and Mayuresh from Infosys with us. So Cedric, how has been the Mobile World Congress 2025 been for you so far?
Thank you very much for inviting me. Just to introduce myself, Cedric, leading the telco media entertainment industry for Europe, Middle East, and Africa for Google Cloud. So I would say that, as we shared just before, I think it was really an exciting, very exciting Mobile World Congress, especially when it comes to AI, and for very good reasons. And especially compared to last year, we talk a lot about, the Agentic now era, which was really driven, for the telcos industry, according, I would say, four major axes, which is the improvement of the network's operations, the field's operation as well, improvement, the productivity of the workforce, and as well elevating the customer experience. And as I will demonstrate after with naming some of the customers, is Wally, and it's something that has changed compared to last year. We are now seeing a lot of deployment, a lot of production case, which are very very sizable and very impactful for our customers.
Do you see clients moving from a pilot-based approach to a full enterprise-scale AI deployment?
Yes, and especially in agent space, you have probably seen that with one of the biggest telcos in EMEA. We have announced, an agent which is able to self-heal the networks. I would say it like that. So detects what will happen, predict what will happen on the networks, taking some decisions and taking the actions as well. Some of the decision has to be validated by a human being, but some are directly implemented. The beauty of what this customer has done with Google Cloud is also using Gemini 2.0 grounded with Google Search and pulling a lot of information about what will be the public event that would take place in this very big country in Europe. And for instance, they are pulling more than 400,000 different events, which could be, for instance, a football game like the Champions League, and then we know that there will be 100,000 people around and it could stress the networks. But it could be also smaller events like public demonstrations that could, for instance, stress the network as well. And it's not only detecting, it's also self-healing, so taking the actions. We have seen also if I look at, the field operations, optimizations, and you know that the big telcos, the tier one, are spending between 1, 2, 3 billions per year on that one. We have seen one of the largest telcos in North America, implementing it for 4,000 of this workforce, helping them, to use Gemini and the multimodal to take some of the actions and having recommendation in the way that he has, that they have to treat this type of things. Really, we have moved and even accelerate the pace between, announcement and the productions. For instance, last year, Agentic was not that a big subject, but this year is the big subject, and we have already implementation. So the pace between announcement and technology and implementation is really accelerating.
Absolutely. And thanks, Cedric, for taking out time for this particular interaction. My name is Mayuresh, and I drive some of the strategic partnerships, and Google is one of course, one of the very strategic partners. Just to add on to what you said, in this year in MWC, Infosys has been participating in this event for last few years, but we look at it as an inflection point where we see AI solutions in action. If you just look around, the Infosys theme is also enterprise AI for real, because now we see tangible solutions coming out, be it autonomous networks, be it data fabric, be it solutions for customer experiences. We see that getting deployed in the real time in one place. Another thing that we are observing is, clients have moved from, just creating those pilots, pushing the use cases into so-called, maybe one level below production instances. Now we see a lot of use cases going into production, but not only staying at that level, but scaling it up so that, few thousands of users can get the advantage of technology.
Yeah. And a great example here is, for instance, we talk about, productivity enhancements for the workforce. We have an example as well of customers with 40,000 employees, and we help them with Gemini to save 40 minutes per week. So 40 minutes per week multiplied by 40,000. It represents, I think, that a saving of 3,000, more than 3,000 full-time equivalent day saved per week. So it's really a concrete example of what could be the impact.
Absolutely. And 100% agree with you, because if you reflect back, just rewind yourself a couple of years, then now all the CXOs were wondering what is the tangible outcome that I can expect as a result of AI initiatives. How do I define the success of AI? But from Infosys point of view, now we see that happening. I think several of our clients are able to produce tangible impact by leveraging technologies. And case in point is Google. We see so many happy customers leveraging Google's CCAI, creating a solid impact when it comes to elevating customer experience, and at the same time taking the cost out of the overall customer experience solutions.
And you both being senior industry leaders, you know what kind of guidance you give to clients who are thinking of imbibing on this path of enterprise scale AI. Where do they start?
I would start with probably the one that is not the most obvious one. There is a sentence saying and a quote saying that, enterprise culture eats strategy for breakfast. And I think that the culture and the change of the culture is super important here. It's probably something that we not think in the first place, but I think it's very, very important. And I'm very happy to see that the telcos industry is really embracing this change. And by the way, if you look at it, that more than 68%, according to a research that we made, of the senior leaders have already implemented generated use cases in productions. And by the way, if you look at the telecom sectors, it is also, and it was not the case in the past, let's be totally transparent, in the public cloud, are now the fastest vertical in terms of adoptions in productions of generative AI. So it's a good example. I think that part of the success also is the upskilling. Yeah. Upskilling is super important, and at Google, it is really at the heart of everything that we do, and it's very important for us to help our partner and our customer to upskill. A very strong data governance, for sure, is super important, and you build on the data. And that's why, ensuring that you have the right data and that you have managed it properly. And many of the customers, have done it. One of the telco, not during Mobile World Congress, but a British one, said during the DTW that they have migrated 94% of all the data on GCP. They build the foundations for everything after to enhance, for instance, the customer experience, to help the productivity of the employees, optimizing the networks and the field operation.
And just to share our point of view on that, we are assisting several of our clients in their AI journey, and they are at different levels of maturity. We see three patterns. Number one, clients who take a step back and they look at AI as a key component of their business strategy. That's number one. Second type of clients that we observe is they are creating AI factories, essentially collating the use cases, trying to accelerate their journey in form of use cases. So that's the second pattern we see. Third pattern that we see is clients creating the AI platforms, and then building on those platforms are the choice of different technologies. And of course, we have seen many instances where Google becomes a preferred technology, having data as the core component of the study. So that's, I think, something which we are witnessing in the industry. Couple of other things is institutionalizing the AI first mindset, because within Infosys we had institutionalized that over last 2.5 years. Because in order for you to make enterprises ready, it is very important that they understand and then they embrace the technology in form of AI. And when we are institutionalizing that mindset, we have gathered three key learnings: that you need to have a separate treatment strategy for the consumers of AI, then creators of AI, and then champions of AI. So that was one of the key learnings I thought I should share in this conversation.
And Cedric, you I'm sure you speak with all the senior executives in the telco world, right? What do you think are the top 3 concerns that might come in their mind the moment we start speaking to them about enterprise scale AI?
I think that the first thing is being able to measure the impact and, being able upfront. And it's something that we are really doing with them now. And it has really shifted the conversation in the past, which was much more an IT conversation, and now it's much more business conversations. And by the way, in terms of success factors of the product, and the project that we are delivering for our customers, when it comes to AI globally and the data, I think it's really involving at the same time all the stakeholders, coming from the CFU, so the business units, dealing with the business, and as well, the IT or the productions department. So I think it's an important one. So being able to measure the impact and the ROI. The second thing is that they are really concerned, sometimes easy to hype, and will I be able to deliver very fast? So one of the examples of a customer that we have implemented in terms of autonomous networks agents, we started the POC last year in November, and we were in production, in end of January, beginning of February. So it's really now when I say that the pace is really accelerating, it's an important one. And at the end, it's also being able that they are able to replicate and have the culture internally and the skills to be able to replicate this type of project very quickly. So I think it's the 3 main questions patterns, I would say: being able to ensure that they have the good ROI, implementing it super fast, and being able to scale afterwards.
Absolutely. And just adding on to that, what is keeping these executives awake in the night? What we observe is one, data, because the entire set of AI solution need to have a very strong foundation of data. And we come across enterprises where the data maturity is not to the level it is required. Like creating the data for AI becomes one of the challenges. And second thing which you touched upon is time to market. How do you accelerate the journey from concept to realization and from realization to scaling it up? I think those are the 2 observations we have that is keeping these executives awake in the night.
And last but the most important question for us is, how do you look at the Google-Infosys partnership? What does it mean to you?
I'm very honored to work with Infosys. I think that our partnership is super brilliant, and I think that especially more than ever when it comes to the data and when it comes to the AI, I think it's an ecosystem play. What the telco has implemented is so important for the industry. It's so important for all the human being, what could have happened during the COVID-19 without the telcos. But they have a lot of constraints and also legacy to be integrated. And it's not something that you implement without a very strong partner. And Infosys has really demonstrated over the time, this excellence in terms of executions, but as well the great relationship and the alignment in terms of value, serving at the best our customers.
Absolutely. And we echo your views, and we are very excited with the possibilities that we have ahead of us. And thank you so much for your partnership and your time, Cedric.
It's our honor, Asia.
Same here. Thank you so much.